Hi, I'm Jay Gruenke, founder of the Balanced Runner System, and I've been helping runners from beginner to Olympian improve their form and performance since 2003. And I'm here today with the next stuck-at-home running form tip, excuse me, very important clarification. And anyway, from my crazy living room to yours, where we had no internet for the past 3 hours, but seem to now, fingers crossed, if I cut out, you'll know what's happening. So let me use these, whatever few minutes I've got here, as an opportunity to help you become a better runner. So yesterday I talked about moving your face forward, and today I want to talk about the benefits of doing that. And I've talked a couple times in this video series about what to do with your head and the benefits of organizing your head-neck connection correctly for running. And so let me show you now. So there are 3 key benefits. And the first one is that it makes a lean possible. So you're just not going to lean forward if you can't do something with your head that leaves you free to look around, to scan the horizon, to look at the ground when you need to look at what's around you. And so if you only know how to do this with your head and neck, then you are going to run upright so that you can keep your head and neck in this arrangement the same as it is when you're standing or when you're walking. But when you run, to lean forward, you need to do the move that I showed you yesterday, where the skull slides forward on the atlas vertebra, so that the head is oriented, or default would be oriented to the horizon, but in fact you're free to look around. Rather than being stuck in this position. Of course, you can look down as a movement, but you're not stuck there. It's the same action that you make when you nod yes. You don't bend your whole neck to nod yes, unless you really feel really strongly about what's being said, or you're head banging to music. But just that simple, like, yeah, that nodding movement, that is exactly the movement we're talking about. So if you're capable of nodding yes, you're capable of doing this movement, though there may be a bit of a learning process to find it. But that gets me to benefit number 2, and this is one of these, everything in running form is a reciprocal relationship, right? There's no linear this causes that. There's no, it's not that moving your head causes a forward lean. It can also be that a forward lean causes you to move your head forward. It's always can go either way. And that's why knowing actually what the whole body action of running really is, so one single thing that is your running form, then you can find these relationships between head and spine, for instance, and know that they work either way. And so you find the one that's easier to do, and you let that bring online the one that doesn't come as readily. And this is especially and powerfully the case with your glutes. So a lot of runners have the problem of having weak glutes, being told that they're not using their glutes when they run. It's absolutely true, but the solution that's given for that is glute strengthening exercises, which begs the question, if running is supposed to use the glutes, and you're running, but your glutes aren't getting stronger, you don't know how to use your glutes when you run. So doing other exercises to make your glutes strong won't change the fact that you don't know how to use that strength in your running. And one of the key ways that you use that strength, I talked about this in my align your hip over your foot in mid-stance video, if this looks like a familiar position to you. If not, go back in this series and you'll find it. Your glutes work hardest at this moment when you're on your foot in mid-stance. They contract to keep, if they let go, I would go like this and bang my head on the sofa, which luckily is soft and Leroy's not there. And there's the key, the word head, right? Your glutes' job is basically to support your head in running. And if you do this with your head, your glutes don't really activate. So again, my chin is down. I'm keeping my head and neck organized as if I were standing, but a little more tensely because when you're running, you will tense that relationship in order to hold it because it doesn't really fit with the activity. But if you let your head slide, as in the upward movement of nodding yes, then the glutes have a much easier time working. The extensor muscles all down your back work to support your head, and your glutes are able to contract much more powerfully and readily. So this is one of those things that it works either way. If you're not sure how to use your glutes to support your head, your nervous system is not going to let you do this face forward movement. And if you don't know how to do this face forward movement, then your glutes are just you're not going to get in a position where your glutes really activate properly when you're running. And so all of my clients over all of the years who either don't lean forward, who don't do face forward, which is probably the majority of adult runners in the United States and the United Kingdom, the main places that I've seen clients, don't do face forward. Some do, but the majority don't, just because our movement habits have been so wrecked by our sedentary lifestyles and our bad shoes and our, actually that sums it up. So it's pretty, I have a go-to lesson for teaching that. It's in week 2 of my online camp, because after getting the pelvis moving, that's the next most important thing, is to get the glutes really working properly to support the head. And that takes so much pressure off of so many other parts of your body, your knees, your feet, your back, your hamstrings, hip flexors. They're all are better when you're running in a way that uses your glutes. But you can experiment and play with this, because you may have been told, and lots of people have been told, not to let your chin stick out when you run. And that advice, I assume, is aimed at preventing you from running like this. And I would agree, you should not run like this. You should run like this. Okay, you see the difference? Where the movement of your head forward the rest of your spine stays the same. It's just your head slides forward and the whole thing tilts. And if you watch a group of kids playing a sport, if they all break into a run at the same time, especially like 7, 8 years old, they'll all do that, unless they spend too much time on their phones. So anyway, that's your second benefit, is that it makes it possible to use your glutes correctly, and to use them, period. And then your third benefit is, again, freedom of vision. So yesterday I explained to you about the curved surface that the atlas vertebra has, that the skull can slide on, and it can slide straight forward, but it can also slide a bit like this and like this, and then the vertebra below that, the axis vertebra, is really where turning occurs. And if you are not letting your face slide forward when you run, then you're doing it by tensing the muscles that attach the front of your skull to your neck. And then that also tenses the muscles in the back, and the whole thing gets very tense. And it's not easy to look around. And I went through a whole demo of that earlier in this series. So I'll put a link to the exact video where there's a demo where you can try the movements as well and feel how, in a forward lean, doing face forward leaves your head free. And just briefly, a note for any Alexander trained person who might be watching: Alexander technique is a movement technique that helps you move your whole body better by helping you improve the relationship of your head to your neck, what they call the primary control. And what I would love and one of the hallmarks of getting that right is that your head is very free. Your posture is upright. I'm always doing this in this video because I can see it gets dark up here, and I'm trying to get myself into the light. But your head is very free. And so that same quality of freedom in the very different physical forces of running is realized in this face forward, I call it, so that your face leads the way forward in running. And again, that leaves your head really free, your spine really long and free of tension, and all of your limbs able to work beautifully and with a real grace in running. So that's the overview on the benefits of using your head right. Next video, we're going to look at the different ways to mess this relationship up, which may help you recognize what you're doing, troubleshoot it, and find your way to something better. So again, this especially the head-glute relationship is may require some deeper learning than just what you can get like that, though having the right idea is about how that's supposed to work as opposed to the wrong idea is obviously really important. So again, I'm putting a resource in the description below, a very short lesson called Eyes While Running. It's the same one I gave yesterday if you saw yesterday's video, because that does help you free this up and may help you find face forward when you're running. But if that's not working for you, you'll need a deeper learning process. And in that case, I recommend my camp because some things just can't be done quickly. And my 6-week online running camp really lets you delve into the movement lessons that improve your coordination, so you just spontaneously do this when you're running. So that's why I created it, to help runners get there. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit like so YouTube knows it's a good video and will share it with other runners who need this information. Please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss a video. And please check out all the great resources that I have for you on balancedrunner.com. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow.